All of you, welcome back once again. I hope all of you are doing great. I got an amazing feedback in our decentralized chat application we have built on the channel. Hundreds of students have followed it and they have learned and they have built this complex application which provide communication in decentralized way. Some of the students were getting a little bit error, so I thought let's make a dedicated video where I can show you and optimize the code so you don't need to make a lot of changes. All you have to do is to simply start running the code. So you can simply come back here and you can watch the complete project. In that we have explained extensively that what we are building, how the contract is got designed. So make sure to follow the complete project. You can simply come back to the source code section and you can simply type chat DApp and you will find the application. This is the one. You can simply click here and you can able to get the starter file and start following this complete project. But those of you who have taken the final source code, I'm going to give you a quick recap that how you have to do the setup and what update I have done. So once you will download the final source code, you will get the zip file. So make sure to re-download it because I have done the basic update. So you don't need to make a lot of changes. All you have to do is to simply provide the name of the network and every single configuration is automatically done, which I have already explained in the complete project that how you can build that. First, you have to extract this folder. In that, you will have this folder in which we have the complete updated code with the latest network configuration. So this is the one which you have to open in your VS Code. So I'll simply click on this VS Code and you can see that I have already opened that particular folder, chat tab. I'm going to make on the big screens and let me give you a complete walkthrough about all the update and the setup which I have explained in detail, so you can simply straight away without following the complete tutorial that what are the requirements you need to have. So first thing we have is the assets. In that we have all the images which we have kept for our project. Then we have the component section. In that we have built all of this component like error component, we have filter component, we have the friend component, we have the loader, we have the models, we have a nav bar, we have a card, and here we have the index.js. In that we are importing all of this folder and exporting and using in our project. Now simply close this one. Then we have the context management, and this one is a very important section. So here we have to put the ABI of our contract. So we're going to simply deploy our contract and we're going to provide the updated ABI. And if you come back to the chat app, you don't need to make any changes here. Every single thing is dynamic. I'll show you how you can test that. And if you come back to the constant, so what I have done, I have taken an environment variable and from there I'm getting the address of the contract and the network. So you don't need to change anything right up here. All you have to do is to provide the environment variable and everything would be working fine. So just follow the way I'm explaining. Now I'm going to simply close this one. This is the entire contract we have coded in the project. So I would encourage you to follow the complete project. This will give you a better understanding about the contract. So close this one. Then we have the pages. In that we have the two pages. This one is our global configuration, all user, and index.js. So you don't need to make any changes. Just keep it as it is. Then we have the public in which we have the icons. Then we have the script. So we're going to deploy our contract in two network. First, I'm going to deploy to Ethereum test network Holesky, and then we're going to test in our local environment using hard hat. So that's the configuration we have. Now, if you come back to the style, we have this style, custom C styling we have written. Just keep it as it is. Don't need to make any changes. Here we have the test which you can ignore. Here we have the utils in which we have the functionality which allow us to get the data, display the countdown. So just keep it as it is. Don't need to make any changes. Now come back to the most important thing in our environment variable. So simply come back here in .env and here you have to provide all of this three information. So I'm going to deploy the contract to Ethereum test network, which is Holesky, but you can literally deploy to any other network. You can simply provide the RPC URL of that particular network in both of these two places. And here you have to provide your private key of your wallet, which you will use it to deploy your contract. Only these three things you have to provide. These two RPG URL is exactly the same. So simply provide it where you are deploying the contract. But I would suggest you to deploy to Holesky and test everything. After that, do the experiment from your end. In the same way, we have to come back to the front-end local environment. So we can click here and here you have to provide these two things. So first you have to provide the address of the contract. So once you will deploy the contract, whether you are deploying to localhost or Ethereum test network, we have to provide it. So first we're going to test to our Holesky. That's why I've given activated this. After that, we're going to test to localhost. So when you are testing on localhost, you have to simply comment this and you have to simply activate this. So the entire configuration will automatically take place. And here you have to provide the address of the contract. But I'm going to bring it back because I'm going to test on Ethereum test network. Close this one. Now, if you come back to the hard hat setup, here you will find that I have provided all the information about the hard hat setup which you have to do. So you can see here I have mentioned that the hard hat account which you will get, you cannot use it in any other test network. These accounts which you will get when you will run the node, you can only use in hard hat environment, not in the actual network. And when you will deploy the contract, By default, this particular account, the first account like 92226 becomes the admin of the contract. So you have to use this particular node version, which is must. Then you have to install the packages, and then you have to run the local node by typing npm run and everything. And this is the network configuration you have to do when you are testing on local environment, which I will show you. And here I have given an important notification that when you testing in the local environment and changing your account from account 1 to account 2, then you have to clear your MetaMask history, because most of you don't do that and your transaction failed, because this is the weird behavior we have in the localhost environment, which keep the history of the previous account, and that's create the conflict, and due to that the transaction get failed, which I will show you everything. So you can see the requirement. If you come back to the hard configuration, so I have done the optimization here. We have done the two setups for local testing and the Holesky testing. Perfect. If I come back to the config, just keep it as it is. Here we have the package JSON file. I have done the update. So you can simply run the local node by writing this command. You can deploy the contract by writing this particular command, and you can deploy to Ethereum actual test network by writing this command. And if you want to delete the node modules and the package JSON file and next config file, you can simply run this command, which I will show you. So I hope you have understood what are the updates I have done. You can simply come back to the readme file, and here you will find all the setups, all the requirement, all the assets which you can simply get. That's all you will find right up here. Now let me show you how you have to run the project. So come back here. So we have all of this course. First thing, you have to open up your terminal and you have to check your node version, because we are using Hardhat and Hardhat is not compatible with the latest node version. I'll type node node-v, and right now you can see that I have the latest node version, but when I will try to execute, this project will not work because Hardhat is not compatible with the latest node version. So in this particular video, I have explained that how you can downgrade your node version. So you can come back to the readme file, and if you come back here in the node section, like this is the node version, you can simply watch this video. In that I've explained that how you can downgrade your node version and how you can upgrade your node version, because we need this particular node version. If you don't have this project will not work because Hardhat is not compatible with the latest node version. So currently I have this one, so I can simply downgrade it. I'll type nvm use 18.17.1, and this will automatically downgrade my node version to this and my npm version to this. That's the first requirement. Now we're going to deploy our contract to Ethereum test network. So we have to come back to the environment variable, and here I have to simply provide my private key of the wallet which I want to use it. So to get your private key, you can do that very easily. You can simply come back here. You can open a new type Etherscan, and from here you can add this particular network in your MetaMask. So you can see that I already have this network configured in my MetaMask. So if what I will do, I'm going to simply delete this network to show you that how you can add it manually. So I'm going to simply select and delete, and the network is deleted. I don't have that network in my MetaMask. I will give a reload. Now I have to add that particular network where I want to deploy my contract. So I'll simply click here, click on this Holesky testnet, and it will take me to the Holesky test network. If you scroll down here, you will have a button called Holesky test network. Click on this add, and it's going to do the configuration automatically. So you can simply click on this approve, and here the network is added successfully. Right now, if I show you my Holesky network, I can simply close this one and I can simply go back here. You will find the network is added successfully into my Holesky. So you can simply check Holesky and you will find the fund you have in this particular account. Or you can do the manual configuration, there is no problem. So you can simply click on this editing, and from here you can able to edit all of these details. So instead of calling this Holesky test, I can call this Holesky, and I can simply change the RPC URL, because if I want to add my custom RPC URL, I can add that. So I can click on this, and I already have given you the RPC URL. Like I can use this one, copy this one. You can use any other provider, but I'm going with this ARNK. I'm going to simply click on this add and provide this. Click on add URL. So I have added, the chain ID is fixed, the Etherscan is fixed. I can click on this save, and I've added my custom RPC URL. So that's how you can change the RPC URL. If I show you the balance, I already have this much balance. But in your case, if you don't have the balance, you can get the free faucet. So you can come back to the blockchain coder and you can go back to the resource section. There you will find that we have this get ETH. Click on it. It will take you to this particular website, and you can mine your own free faucet for this particular network to get some ETH, which you can use to deploy your contract. So right now you can see that I have this much token. So you can simply copy the address. You can paste here, and you can simply click on start mining, and it's going to mine the faucet for you. So you can simply transfer that to your wallet. So you can see the start. So the mining got started and I'm going to wait for a few seconds. Once I will reach 1 ETH and I'm going to transfer that ETH into my wallet. So just wait. And you can see that I've waited for close to 3 to 4 minutes. And if I open my MetaMask, you can see I have this much fund. I can simply stop the mining and I can click the fund which I want to transfer. So I can simply click on this stop mining and it's going to give me this. I have to simply click on this confirm transaction and this fund will be transferred to my wallet address. So click on this claim reward and now it's in the queue. Soon the transfer will complete and I will have the fund in my wallet. So just a moment, once we'll get the confirmation, we can check in our MetaMask wallet. So the transaction is in the process. This might take a little bit time. So find the transaction is completed, you can simply view in the Holesky scan, or you can simply open up your MetaMask and you can see the fund went up to 8. So that's how you can claim your faucet, which you can use for testing. So once you're done with that, you have enough fund in your MetaMask. Now you have to get the private key of your wallet. So I'm going to use this particular account for deploying my contract. So I'll simply click here and I'm going to click on this account detail, click on the show private key and I'll give my password and click on hold. You will get the private key. Make sure you don't share this private key with anyone because somehow I exposed one of my account and I have noticed that all the fund from that particular account is went up, although it was a test fund. So simply copy this one and close. So once you copy your private key, now you can come back here and that's what you have to provide here. So finally, I have provided my private key and I have enough fund in my wallet, which I want to use for deploying the contract. Now all the environment's ready for deploying the contract. So if I come back here, you can see this is the network where I'm going to deploy it. So I'm going to bring this up. Now I have to deploy the contract. So if you can come back to the package.json file, and this is the command we have to run, deploy. Now we can type npm run, and I'm going to simply paste this deploy and hit enter. It's going to simply deploy our contract to Holesky network. You can see it's compiling successfully. I got the artifact in that I have the ABI of the contract. So this is the one which we have to provide right up here in the context. So just wait. Once the deployment will complete, we can get the address of our contract and we're going to change the API. So whenever you deploy your contract, you have to provide the updated API. So our contract is deployed successfully to the Holesky network. I'm going to simply close this one, close this one. I'm going to simply copy this. And that's what I have to provide here. Once I provided my contract address, now I'm going to simply clear up my terminal and can simply come back here. This is the ABI. I'm going to simply drag and drop here. It will automatically replace with the latest ones. Click on this replace. And that's the entire setup you have to do to test on the Holesky test network. So I'm going to simply close this one. Now I'm going to start the application, type npm run dev, and this will start our application on Ethereum test network. Copy this one, open a new tab, and you can simply paste localhost and it's going to start the application automatically. You can see right now I'm not connected. If I show you my MetaMask, I have this. So I'm going to simply log out and I'm going to simply reload the page. It's going to open nothing. Right now I'm getting this option to connect wallet. I can simply click on this connect wallet. It's going to open this MetaMask. I can simply type my password and I'm logged into the application. So I'm going to simply give you a reload and here you can see I'm successfully connected and I can able to make the transaction. What happened if I don't have this network configuration in my MetaMask? So what I will do, I will delete this network manually knowingly. So I'll simply come back here. I'm going to simply delete this one and I will reload the page. If I reload the page, it's going to open this pop-up model and it will do the automatically configuration. So we don't need to go to Etherscan and do the configuration. Simply click on approve and it's going to simply feed that in our network. So it's automatically done the configuration. So every single thing is looking good. Right now you can see that we are on the account number 1 and this is the admin. So I'm going to simply clear my MetaMask history because I have changed the network and somehow when you test on the test network, it's keep the history of the previous account. So once you clear your MetaMask history, give a reload and now we are ready to make the transaction. So I'll simply click on this create account and here I will have this option, my address. I can give a name. So I'll say the chain coder. I given the name. I can click on this submit and it's going to make a transaction. You can see it's opening. Click on confirm and the transaction is in the process. Once the transaction will complete, you will find that you will be created your account. You can see that we are calling the create account function. Just a moment. And finally the transaction is confirmed and we have created our account and we got our name. You can come back to all user. There you will find that your account is not displaying because you don't want to display yourself. So I want to register from a different account so I can able to show you the transaction. So I can simply come back to account number 2 and I can simply click on this connect. And right now I have enough funds. So I'm going to simply clear my MetaMask history because this is what I have to do every time whenever I want to change my account. Give a reload, and right now I'm getting this option called create account. Click on it and I got the address. I can simply call this, let's say Daulat, and I can click on this submit. It's going to make a call and click on this confirm, and the transaction is in the pending. Once the transaction will complete, you will see I will be registered in the platform. So transaction is completed and I have redirected to the home page, and here you will find all the addresses. So currently I'm Daulat and I can be friend with this the blockchain coder. I can click on this add friend and it's going to make a call. I can click on this confirm, and once the transaction will complete, I will be friend with him and I can able to send the message to this particular user. So just wait, and here the transaction got completed and we got that user removed because I'm a friend with him. Now I can click on this chat and I will come back here and I can able to find the friend. I can simply click it and here I have the selection. I can simply send the message, hey, nice project, the chain coder, and I can click on this send and it's going to make a call. Click on confirm and the transaction in the process. So you can simply say that you are sending the message to the blockchain coder. Once the transaction will complete, this data will be registered and transferred to the user. So the message is successfully sent, and here is the reload. You can see the one. Click here and you can able to find the message. And if I switch my account to go back to the account number 1, you will see I'm connected. Now I can reload the page and there you will find that the wallet is there. I can click here and the message I got perfectly. So every single thing is working. This is how you have to test on the Ethereum test network. Now let me show you how you can do the testing using hard hat. So you can simply come back here. I'm going to stop the application and I'm going to clear it up. I'm going to simply close this up. Now what I can do is I can simply come back to my here and I'm going to simply activate this and I'm going to simply shut this one and I'm going to simply replicate this and I'm going to simply comment this one, and this will be, and here I have to provide the deploy address. So now we have to simply deploy our contract. So to deploy, what we can do is we can simply come back to our package.json file and we have to execute this command first in one terminal and this command in other terminal, and then we have to start the application. So let's copy this one and open up our terminal, and I can simply check my node version because you have to check your node version when you are testing locally. So I'll simply say node-v. You can see I have done the configuration in my VS Code that whenever I will delete my terminal, it will automatically switch back to the latest version. So you have to check your node version when every time when you are opening up your terminal. So I have this one, so I can simply downgrade it. So I can simply type nvm use 18.17.1 and I have the required node version. Now I have to start the local node, this one. So I'll simply type npm run and type node, hit enter. It's going to start the local node and you can see that it will give you 20 plus account and all of these account which I have provided already here. If you want to import this account, you can simply copy the private key and you can import. And by default, Hardhat will use this particular account, the first one, as an admin. So when you will deploy the contract, this contract is going to be the admin of the contract. And this is the RPC URL which we have to provide. So when you are doing manual configuration, you have to fill out all these details, but we have already done that configuration in our context management. So you don't need to do that. You can come back here, go back here. You can see we have already done the configuration in the localhost. Like here in the network, you will find that we have already done the dynamic configuration. So if you don't have localhost, it will automatically configure and fill out all of this detail. So you don't need to do anything in here. So now we are done with this. I'm going to simply bring this back up. So this should be running. You don't need to stop this. Now you have to simply spread this terminal. Now we have to deploy our contract. So if you come back here, we have a command for deploying called deploy local. I'll simply copy that one, type npm run and paste here, hit, and it's going to deploy our contract locally. So we have deployed our contract and here we got the artifact. So it will automatically update the artifact. So this is the one which you have to copy and you will have the same address when you will deploy the contract. So come back here and you can simply paste here. So once you paste here, you got the address, you got the network done, and now we can simply open another terminal and here you have to start the application. So I'm going to simply close this up, and now everything is looking great. This should be running. You don't need to stop this. Now I can simply do one thing. Like we have deployed the contract to localhost, so you can simply provide the updated API, or you can keep it as it is because we haven't make any changes in the contract. So I'll go with the same one. But whenever you make any changes in the contract, you have to provide the updated API. Now I have to start the application. So let me check my node version. I'll type node-v. It's went up to the latest one. I go to go back to the old one. Let's say I got this lotus one, old one. Now I'm going to simply bring it back and I can start the application. So I can simply type this dev command. So simply type npm run dev and it's going to start the application on our localhost. So our application is running absolutely fine on localhost. So come back here, open a new tab, click on this localhost, and it will automatically open this localhost network configuration because I don't have localhost in my browser. So I can simply click on this approve and it's going to be added successfully in my MetaMask. You can see I'm added the localhost in my MetaMask successfully because we have already done the configuration here. You can see chain ID, localhost, the symbol is Go, or you can simply provide the symbol in ETH. There is no problem in that. If I select this, you can see right now it's displaying in Go, but you can change that. That's the option we have, but just go as it is. There's no problem. But if it's create any problem, you can change this to ETH. So we are done with the configuration. Now I'm going to simply minimize this one. I can simply close this one. Now I have to import the hardhat account. So as I have already given you all of this account, by default hardhat will take this particular account as an admin. So I have to import this account. So I'll simply copy this private key and I will come back to the browser. And right now I have this two account, which is my actual account. And I can click on this add account, import account, give the private key and click on import. And the account is added. Click on this connect and you will find that it's going to fetch out the balance which I have. So if I show you, by default hardhat will give this much and I have already deployed the contract using the same account, so it will have a little less fund. So it's fetching the price. Sometime I have to open one more time and you can see it's got the balance. We have this much fund. This much fund. Right now you can see it's saying 10,000, but the moment you will click here, it will show you that how much fund you have paid for deploying the contract. So this is how you can import the hardhat account. Now I can do one more. I can import one more account, which is this one. So I can show you the transaction. So I can simply click on this. I can click on it, click on this, import, paste my private key and import and click on connect. So I have imported both the accounts successfully. Now I'm going to make the transaction to show you. So come back here, click on this account number 3 and I have to clear my MetaMask history because this is the problem we have. So we have imported this account. I'll click on the setting, advance and clear and reload the page. So we have done the network configuration successfully in the MetaMask in the application. Now I can click on this create account. Is going to give me this. My wallet address is there. I can give my name. So I'll say chain coders. I can click on the submit and it will open the MetaMask. You can see that we are making the transaction. Click on this confirm and the transaction is successfully. We have created an account. I can simply come back here and I can simply switch my account to account number 4. And now I have to simply click on this setting, go to advanced and click on this create activity. And this is what you have to do whenever you switch your account. Otherwise the transaction will fail and it will get an error like RPC URL because this is the problem we have in the localhost. Now I have to click on this create. I can give a name. I'll say Daulat Sen. Click on the submit. It's going to make a call. Click on this confirm and the transaction is completed. I have created my account. I can click on this all user and I can be friend with this particular guy. Click on this add friend. This pop-up model is opening. I can make a confirmation and the transaction is completed. I can come back to chat and here I have the user. I can simply say and I can send the message. I'll say hey coders and click on this send. It's going to open the MetaMask. Click on confirm and the transaction is completed. Click on it and here you will have the message. If you switch back to account number 3, you can able to find the I can simply clear my MetaMask history because I have changed my account because this is what you have to do. Reload the page. Now you will find that the all is reflecting fine and you have the message. So every single thing is looking good. This is how you have to do the setup. So now you know how to test on Ethereum test network and localhost and what are the configuration you have to do. Now let me show you how you can deploy this application to Netlify so other can utilize it. So what we can do is we can simply come back to our code and this is what we have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply do the changes in our environment variable. So I can simply come back here and here I have did the changes. So you have to put the address of the contract which we deploy to Holesky, the first place, and I'm going to activate Holesky. That's the first changes I have to do. Now I can simply come back to my package.json file, and here I'm going to attach this command like next build, which is already there in the final source code. So this is the command which I have to run. So what I will do, I'm going to simply open up my terminal, and I have to simply check my node version. So the node version I have this one. So I have the required one. Now what I have to do is I have to simply run this particular command, the build command. So I can simply come back here a little bit, and this is the command which I have to run. This one to generate a static file. So simply type npm run build, and it's going to generate the static file. So it's compiling our project and it's going to give us the out folder. So you can see it's done all the compilation and it's generated this particular folder. In that we have the complete code of our project, the icon, the index file, all user, and 404. So this is the folder we have to upload to Netlify. So I'm going to simply close this one, and I'm going to simply close this one. I'm going to open my browser, and I can click on this Netlify. So I'll simply type Netlify, and you will find a very first link. Click on it and make sure to create your account. You can simply create your account from Google, or you can create your account from GitHub. So I will go with the normal. So I already have my account, so I will simply log in. So I'll click on login, and here it's asking you. So I will go into login from my GitHub because that's what I have connected, and I would suggest you to use GitHub. Click on login, and it's going to do the authentication, and it will be having my dashboard. So here I'm logged in and I have all the project which I have deployed. That's all I have here. So to upload, we can simply click here, add new site, and we have three options. You can import it from GitHub. You can get started with the starter file, but we have to do the manual deploy. Click on it, and here we are. Click on this, and it will take you to the repository. So I'll go back to download, and I have this particular one. I'll click on it, and this is the one which we have to import. We have generated out folder. Select it and click on upload, and it's going to do the upload. Click on this upload, and it's uploading. Once the upload will complete, this application is live on internet, so user can simply come and open and visit it, and you can add in your portfolio. So you can able to find all this stat modules. So it's uploading. You can able to have the preview. So we have generated. You can come back to the site configuration, and from here you can call whatever name you want to give to your URL. So right now it's called this, but I want to change this to, let's say, chat DApp, let's say coders, the blockchain coder. So this is going to be the URL. I click on the save, and it's saving. And finally, the URL is ready. I can click on this, and it's going to open the application right up here in my browser. I can click on this connect wallet. It's going to open my wallet. Click on this connect, and here I'm connecting successfully. I have to give a reload once I connect. So account is there. I can click on it, and now I can able to see that which account I am right at the moment, account number one, and I can able to send the transaction like message. I'll say, hey, click on this send. Is going to open this. Click on confirm, and the transaction in the process. You can simply click here, and you can see the transaction is happening. So this is how you can upload your application on internet, so anybody can utilize. I hope now you have understood that what you will get in the final source code and how you have to do the setup and what we have developed in the complete project. So the transaction is completed. We have sent the message. You can click here and you can able to find the message we have. So that's the complete project. I hope you have understood. This is what exactly you will get, and this is how you have to do the setup. So with that, I'm ending this. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.